Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is SAP Analytics for Cloud Learning series, and today I have come up with a new topic. You can say which was much asked. Everyone wanted a tutorial and demo on this topic, that is planning using SAC. Uh, Planning in SAC is a very huge and a complex process. If I would summarize, it has majorly, three phases. First phase is a prepare phase, second phase is a plan phase, and third phase is a finalize phase. So the planning revolves around each phases. And before I continue, like if you are from a BI background and you already worked on, the planning functionalities, it might be with the different tools, but you have a basic understanding, how planning works, what are different planning terminologies, how financial planning or any other planning, works. Then this video is easy to understand. And if you don't have that background, you are new to planning, before you watch this video, I would say just clear your theoretical concepts. Just do some homework, read some topics about planning. You know, what is financial planning, how planning works, and what is involved in the planning, how you do it, and everything, because in this video, I'm not going to focus or, you know, uh, put some efforts on explaining, what is financial planning or the theoretical or functional understanding of it. I will just demo it how you create the technical planning solution in SAC. Okay. So as I said earlier, planning revolves around three phases: prepare phase, plan phase, and finalize. In the prepare phase, the planning modeler, a developer who has a planning modeler and the professional license, will build the planning model and dimensions. He will add the planning functionalities, then create the stories for inputting the data, or the end, you can say, dashboards and reports. Then the planning modeler will set up and assign tasks and processes. So this will be the first phase, which basically revolves around the technical, build, where you build the technical objects which are needed for the planning. Then next is a plan phase, where the planning reporter will create or, share the private versions, doing the manual data entry, use the planning panel and publish the private versions to, public, or create some private versions, add some data, and then run the created data actions, multi actions, the different planning tools we created that are created by the modeler. Then share the content and views, do the collaboration, adding the comments, discussing the outcomes within the team. Those will be done in this plan phase. Now in the finalize phase, this will be, the review, approval, and publishing the results. Like they will, they are using the calendar workflow, then they will submit the task which are due, then they will review the submitted task, and then they will approve the data if the data looks good. Then the data will be, published to the public versions. And once everything looks good, then the data logs is set. Once you set the data logs, that means the planning is completed. Now you cannot undo any changes. The data is frozen. You freeze the data once you log the data. Then the planning modeler will come if any archiving of the versions is needed. Like for we did planning, for this financial year. Now we are going to do the for the next financial year also. Then the existing versions archiving or exporting to the downstream systems. If exporting the existing plan data to the S4 system, or the BW4 system. So that will be done in this finalize phase. So these are the three phases. Uh, This is a huge process, and in the today's video, I'm just creating the planning model and different versions. In my upcoming videos, we will just, unfold the each planning capability in SAC. I will try to cover as much as possible the different functionalities within different videos. I will not do everything into one video. That's too much then. And I know there are many videos on YouTube, which says, okay, you can learn planning in 4 hours, 5 hours. That's not practically possible. It's not that easy, you need some experience. When you implement for the first time, you will understand some concepts. So it's slowly and gradually you learn. Okay. And I already had uploaded this video last week, and I noticed there are some audio related issue in the video. Sorry, last week was a very busy week. Even this week looks busy for me, and I couldn't validate the audio of that video. And some of the viewers and subscribers, they notified me, and thank you, for bringing that to my attention. And I'm just, uploading it again, recording it, again, and checking this time it doesn't have any audio issue. Okay. Now, apology for that, and I will take care this doesn't happen again. And if happens, unfortunately, if it repeats again, just at least notify me that there is some audio issue. Let's continue with the demo. I am already logged into the tenant, and now I will go to the modeler. Under the models, I already created a planning model, that is PM underscore demo. As I already mentioned in my earlier videos also, the naming convention and the descriptions are look very vague, not standard, because I'm just doing it for the demo and tutorial. But in your business scenarios, please follow the right business descriptions and naming conventions when you're working within the projects and in the live projects or your business scenarios. Okay. Now in my this planning model, I just enabled my planning capabilities through the model settings and model preferences. If you enable this planning capabilities, then that becomes a planning model. If you disable this, then that's an analytic model. Okay. So we needed a planning model, we enabled this. That's the only difference between planning model and analytic model with the technical setting. Okay. Now, uh, you can see I have a one major amount in local currency, then I have different dimensions. Version and date by default added, GL account, country, company, department, and cost center. If we go to the version, I have currently only public actual and some transactional data related to this version. As you can see in the public versions actual, I have some sample data added. Then I go to the settings, I go under planning. As you see, for the private versions, the model has no private versions. I don't have any planning private versions also. I only have one version actual and some data loaded into it. Now we will create a story as an input form, where we will do some manual data entry, as well as we create some different versions with the different categories. I'll go to the story. I'll click on canvas, and I just click on add new data, model, models, PM demo. So that model is added into my story. Now I will click on table. Okay, I'll just try to design my table to make it input ready. I will add few dimensions, like I want the D company only. So D company will be the first column, then the GL account. Okay, I will show the hierarchy, then the revenue as a GL account. Then I will add the date dimension also. And for the date, I don't want to show any hierarchy. So I'll just show only leaves in the widget. Then So when you add or create any table, by default, a version filter is added. It might be on planning model or analytic model. You just, remove this version filter, because when we are going to create different versions, then this filter won't show, that the other versions are created. So make sure in your table there is no filter on the version. Okay. As of now, I will only input against the revenue GL account. Then I will add one more filter on company, because I just want to input data against the North America region. I'll drill this down to the last level, the same to the level 3. Okay, so now my input table is ready. Okay, so now what is input form, or when the planning table is you can say data entry ready. So open the builder panel, scroll down. There is one option, planning. Under that there is a option planning enabled. When you add any table into the story, by default this is checked, okay, enabled. So once this is enabled, that means I'll just you know try to, oh, not able to, I'll show you. This planning enabled means you can input the data. If I'll click on this, I will be edit the data. Okay, so I'll just minimize like table size, and so the panel is okay. Planning enabled means if I click on this, I am able to input the data. If I disable this, this will be grayed out. That is, if I double click it, I won't be able to do any manual entry. So when you enable, that means you are creating a data entry page where the users can input the values. And when you are creating some dashboards and reports, like those are for output purpose, not for any inputting data, then you disable this. Okay. Now I want to input data, so I will just enable this so I can change the data. So now the table is ready. Now I will go to the tools. Under that, these are the three dots. I will click on these three dots, then open the version management. This version management panel will open for my planning model. It will show the public versions available and the private versions. Okay. Currently, there are no private versions and only one actual version is available. Now, if I click on this plus, then you can add a public version. I will say forecast, and you have to choose the right categories also. If it's a forecast, then choose the right category, forecast, then create. So when you add a version like this, a version will be added but without any data. So there is a no data against it, everything is empty. Then you can manually input the data like three. Okay, and then you click on publish. So once you click on publish, the data and the version both are published. Okay, now forecast is the one more public version I created. Now suppose I want to create a one more version, but I want to copy with the existing data. So then select any version that data you want to copy. Suppose I selected actual. I'll click on this copy, and now I will create, the budget version. I'll select the category as the budget, and I will select, the copy all data. I want to copy all data, nothing. You can add some filters also where you want to copy only selective data. Then you select this drop down. I will click OK. So now the budget is also added. It copied all the actuals, okay, for 2025, whatever data. Obviously, my actual and budget are not going to be same. I just, do a mass entry where I will change every data. Then I will choose some expressions, okay, that my budget is going to be, you can say plus 15% of the existing data. When I add that, so for the existing whole actual data, it will add plus 15% and add as a budget. So these are the some quick expressions you can use. And you can, now I did plus 20%, you can do minus 10% or whatever, minus X percent. And not only percentage, you can do, plus, minus, divided by, or multiply also. Okay. And if you want to redo this, like I did plus 20%, I don't want plus 20%, then you again go to the three dots, you click this version history. Then, for each and every version, it will show the steps you already did. And this shows only the steps you did before publishing it. Okay. For the forecast also, we inputted the data, but we published the version. Okay. But for the budget, it's in the edit mode still, like I haven't published this version yet. So if I want to undo anything, again I click on this, copy to private version. So it's just, undo that step which I did, plus 20%. Okay. I don't want plus 20%. I will just double click edit. I want it to be multiply by 2. Okay. So my budget is going to be twice as actuals. Enter. So now you can see the budget for each, GL account and company level. It is exactly double the actual. So this is going to my budget. I will close this. Now I have to publish these changes. I will again go to the version management. Now currently budget version, I haven't published it. Click on publish. You can publish means whatever with the name you selected, it will publish the same. If you click on publish as, then you will give the right name. You think you gave some temporary name, then you can give the right name again and publish it. So once the publish, now the private version, I created a budget, it is again a public version. Okay. And now if I go to the version history, and now I cannot undo anything because I already published the changes. The only thing I can do is again, changing it manually, manual entry. Now I will create a one more private version. It's a forecast 01, and the category is a rolling forecast. And this source version you can select. It doesn't copy the data, it will just copy all the dimension properties and any data locking properties. Okay. I will create. So now this FC01 is my private version. I am not going to publish it. Okay. Now we did everything. This is in story via some table. Now what are the effects of this in the model? I will show you. I will open the model, and if I go to the version, as you can see, the two new public versions are added into the version table, budget and forecast. In the version table, you won't see any private versions, okay, because this table only maintains the public versions. Okay. But I can go to the settings under the planning. Here in the delete private versions, I can delete whatever private version I created. And also in the data foundation, under this, like public versions, I will see all the public versions. Any private versions data I can see, like this private version data. There is no any data inputted. So in the data foundation, then you can see in the different public versions and different private versions. Now I don't want to keep any private versions in my model. I will go to planning, delete private version. Then it will show you there is only one private version, and that will be deleted. Okay. And you just refresh this, and there will not be any private version. If I refresh this again, so there will not be any private version. So this how you can create a planning model in SAC, create private versions and public versions. Public versions are accessible to everyone who has access to that model, the right access. Private versions can be accessed by the person who created, and other persons also, if the person, shares that private version with other colleagues also. Suppose I created the forecast 01 version, private version. And if I share that version with any other user in the SAC, he also can access it. But public versions are accessible to the whole, team who has access to the model or uh, the the story, and they can publish the data on top of that public versions. So this is how you can create different versions in SAC. In the next video, we will, go through the other different planning features and concepts. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you're liking this content, please mention in comments and like my video and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next videos.